Chat, here we go. Got it there in the last second. Chat, we have the beginning of Daniel and ApparentlyJack. You guys didn't see any of the stuff I was showing you, did you? That's funny. But the point is, you're here now for the show match, and that's all that really matters. I was showing you guys a ton of stuff on screen. You guys didn't see any of it. But you do see the match now, right? I would hope so. Jack trying, as I said, to squash the demons of not being able to finish first in any big 1v1 tourney. I mean, everybody knows that Jack is one of the best 1v1ers in the game, but he would love to have a nice trophy on his mantle to prove it in one of these tournaments, and Daniel's going to try and not let him. The reset and the goal. Everybody is going to notice that Daniel is in the Fennec today. Daniel has been playing Fennec on occasion. When he played it in the previous tournament, it followed alongside a very bot-like 1v1 play, deeming the name Dandroid from the people watching because he had just completely stopped air drolling, and it seemed like he was a bot trained to perfectly execute 1v1s and not do a single movement he doesn't need to. But starting this series, it doesn't seem like he's playing the Fennec that way. At least his air dribble was certainly filled with air roll and filled with mechanics. Jack has been on the Fennec for a long time now. He's gone back and forth between the two over the course of months, but since the RLCS has started back up, he has been on the Fennec, and it's done well for him in RLCS. Jack popping off in RLCS. In fact, both these players playing really well for their respective teams. They will be in the Rotterdam Major coming up in a few months, and one of them will also be in the World Finals for the Fall 5K. The two players that come from this North American bracket, one of them now first killer, and the other, either Daniel or Jack, will be playing the winners of the EU Fall 5K in a final bracket to see who is the top in the world right now. And Daniel wants that to be him. A great hook shot off this kickoff. Jack playing very passive. Maybe he didn't feel like there was an angle, but Daniel gets a really powerful shot. Wave dash kickoff for Daniel. Jack, I don't know if he was trying to zap dash, or as he likes to call it, donkey dash, as he landed on that kickoff. But he did wave dash slightly. He has a great flick opportunity, and so good that he actually doesn't need to take it, which is an interesting shift in the chess game between these two. The flick was, I mean, he definitely had a huge window for a flick, so Daniel has to jump to save it. And Jack goes underneath. Daniel using his wheels to catch this ball, get the reset, and even Jack says, nice shot. Hard to prevent this one from going in. Such a smooth catch. That's always been Daniel's strength in 1v1. I don't think he's playing the Dandroid style that we saw him win pro drops with. Daniel yet another wall to air dribble. Jack able to take this one away. Daniel was hoping maybe to fake it of some sort, but he wasn't even protecting the ball, and he wasn't really threatening that much from that position. He fell so far away from the ball. Jack able to easily take it and counter it. And a kickoff goal to tie it back up. Daniel's certainly beaten Jack in the past. The first time that these two guys played each other was actually as part of an event between North America and EU. And I think at that time, Daniel was at his peak. I think he was the best 1v1 player in the world for at least a month or so at the end of his insane grind. When he played Jack, they played 3 different games on EU and NA because Jack was still in EU. And Daniel took 5 out of the 6. Now, in the tournament that they played following, Daniel actually got eliminated by Jack in a semifinal. It was the same kind of situation. Semifinal, except it went in favor of Jack that time. So these guys have gone back and forth for as long as they've been in the 1v1 game. Before, it was when they were playing across servers, and more recently, they've been able to match each other on even ping. And, I mean, I would even say either one of them has had the edge. It's just whichever one of them is playing better on the day. And Daniel, so far, playing ever so slightly better, up 5-4. This double gets cut off by Jack, who now has a carry, and great attack by Daniel. Able to challenge Jack before he truly gets comfortable with the ball carry. By the time he's got control and he's recognizing that Daniel's coming back, it's too late. Neither of them going wave dash on this one. Standard kickoff for both. Daniel has had the kickoff edge big time, and that has been one of the differences that has led to his lead here in this game. He is getting every first possession. Even though he's not directly scoring them, you just can't afford to start every possession against Daniel with him taking a wall to air dribble. Jack is going to punish Daniel for not rushing back to net there. Daniel thought for a moment he could turn back towards the play, and he was definitely wrong about that. Daniel looking top left, and if he can do it, it's not likely that Jack will be able to get there. Jack with only 12 boosts uses it to get back. I guess he's able to pick up a couple pads, but the swing around means that he will not be able to cover that top left. Daniel, another one. I mean, the kickoffs have been... I mean, I was saying before that it's tough to play Daniel when he gets possession and just takes wall to air dribbles, but obviously it's even tougher if you're going to hand over direct into the net goals. Jack stealing resets, falling off the ball, and Daniel doesn't really have to worry about anything, especially when Jack's directly above the ball. There's no surprise movement that Jack can get. So Daniel able to take it away. Minute left to go. Pressure now on Jack, who is going to need to be very effective with each attack. Daniel pre-jumped this one and hovered right where Jack wanted to put the ball, never giving him a window to get past, and eventually taking it. Jack uses the little bit of boost he does have to get a shot to the top shelf, but Daniel covers it. Every second off the clock right now in favor of Daniel. Jack's starting a dribble from his back corner. Needs to score on this opportunity. Last bit of boost he has is not quite enough. Daniel saves his flip, gets the first couple touches without it, and then flips late to make sure that his save is controlled and in his favor, as opposed to panicking and rushing to clear it from the net. Daniel missing this wave dash. So Jack, maybe one last shot attempt. If he could score there, he'd still have a chance with 2 kickoff goals. Daniel wasn't able to get a game win in Swiss, but he'll be the first to get a game win here. Daniel, is he going to get a nasty own goal? Oh no, he's going for a psycho. Jack's keeping it up. Oh no, he isn't. Drop it to the ground. Daniel, game 1 win. Best of 7. Lots of time for this to go either way. Game number 2. Daniel, the kickoff edge has probably been the story. I think that's, if you're Jack, that's the biggest thing you need to figure out. He hasn't been too bad in the open field. It's just, even if 2 players are, and even if Jack is slightly better, even if in the open field you have Jack a very slight edge, if Daniel wins every single kickoff, it doesn't matter. He's still going to win the game because Daniel gets first possession and he's going to find a way to score that on occasion and eventually will take the lead. Jack has to neutralize that. This flick forces Daniel into net. Jack is just actually got to the other corner too soon. It's interesting. That boost starve strategy of just taking the ball back and forth between the corners happens a lot in 1v1, but you actually can't do it too fast because you can't do it before the boost spawns. You have to get there as it's spawning. And Jack, in an effort to play really quick, got there long before and ended up letting Daniel reset. Jack is playing very interesting. So often you see him go for kind of an air dribble with no destination in his 1v1 games, and that's definitely what he did there. Jack just never felt like he could make a play on the ball. Just watches it bounce out for Daniel to tap in. Jack losing this kickoff, but actually getting a pretty strong shot of it. Daniel's trying to psycho. He doesn't score the psycho. Oh no, Jack own gold. Oh my goodness, everything is turning up Daniel right now. Went for the psycho, didn't get it, goes off the ceiling, and he's really quick to react, to jump off the wall and get the touch, and then it's just enough ahead of Jack that as he tries to flip back to control it, he just gives it a bit of extra speed and sends Daniel up 2. Daniel demoed as he tries his best to evade Jack while headed into his corner. Great shot from Jack. That kind of additional speed is going to be hard to read as a respawning defender. We'll watch it again from Daniel's perspective. Yeah, I mean, he never stood a chance. Turned in towards the net off the respawn, and before he has the time to adjust, Jack gives it that extra speed. Another kickoff win for Daniel. Maybe a bit of a messed up first touch. Might have been able to get a better shot, but he's actually still going to score off of it. Oh, maybe he isn't going to score off of it? Is Jack tilted? Yeah. I think Jack actually could have saved this. And Jack, you know, normally the untiltable, but if he had landed half flipped immediately back, he definitely, that makes it harder on Daniel. Daniel doesn't get to just tap the ball in low. Jack escaping to his corner, but without the ball. Actually, a crazy wave dash. Daniel just slowly inching the ball in. And now Jack's in a tough spot with 0 boost. He dropped his dribble. Had himself time to get the midfield. Really strong first touch from Daniel, and the long shot. Daniel saw his opportunity, and he took it. Not often are players shooting like this from that corner. I mean, you see Jack, he wave dashes for 1 second. He wall dashes on the wall to head towards the play, and that's it. He's already committed way too hard. Anything but a direct retreat back to net was not going to make it back in time, and certainly turning towards Daniel was not the answer. Yo, Toxic Degen, or thank you for the Prime, the brand new Prime. Appreciate that. Daniel protecting the ball on the goal line. Daniel's looking so good. So far, a repeat of what we saw in the previous semifinal, where during the Swiss, AJ winning 2-0 in the short best of 3, but then First Killer sweeping in his semifinal. Now, same thing. Jack won 2-0 in his Swiss, and Daniel, you know, is far from started the sweep yet. There is a lot of time left in this game, but he did win game number 1, and does seem to be having the edge by a decent margin here in game number 2. Jack, another kickoff possession conceded to Daniel, who on 0 boost launches a power shot to the top left. There's almost nobody better at getting power from any situation as Daniel. Jack knows no reason to even jump. There's the donkey dash, as Jack likes to call it. He is probably, other than Zapatos, the only other player I see using it fairly consistently. What a smooth catch, Jack. Yeah, these guys giving credit where credit is due. And Jack definitely deserves a compliment for this wave dash to catch. So smooth. The dribble is in the top right. Rare kickoff in favor of Jack, and he scores it. Converts immediately on his opportunity. Daniel maybe could have tried to challenge him closer to the midfield, but he elected to shadow with low boost and didn't stand a chance. Daniel looking to drop a soft touch towards net. Jack is back in time, and Jack trying to demo actually gets there a bit too soon. So instead just undercuts. Daniel pathing over some pads as he sets up for his defensive effort. Jack gonna go for an air dribble, maybe air dribble bump. Daniel's spree jump forces Jack higher than he wants to go though. So good defensive effort from Daniel. Those can be tough to handle. He found an answer, even though that answer didn't involve him actually taking the ball from Jack. It was what he needed to get himself to survive just a little bit longer, and then Jack couldn't stay in control. This one, Daniel falls from the ceiling, and Jack's setup is a perfect pass with a ceiling shot and a 3-goal lead. Quick landing dashes from Jack on these kickoffs every time. Trying to undercut and then use that lead in a rush to the net, but Daniel did a good job escaping that and stealing the boost in the process. Quick dribble from Daniel. Wasn't able to get Jack all the way in net, and that is going to make the extended possession a bit tougher. Jack able to get his corner boost because he did that, but with 20 seconds left to go, oh, actually good read. I'm surprised Daniel dove. Daniel just needs to waste time, but thought maybe he could surprise Jack by being aggressive. And Jack just pops it over the top of him. Lucas Tiff, thank you for the prime. And the Sherlock, 007, thank you for the tier 1. Jack needed to score that and another. Wasn't likely to do that, either of those. So Daniel will take game number 2 as well. Jack may have gotten 2 straight in Swiss, but Daniel gets 2-0 in the semifinal. The difference is Jack is still alive, just has to get going soon. Remember, YouTube, every subscription for the next month adds $1 to the prize pool at the end of the year. So please subscribe. Game number 3. Let's keep track of the kickoffs that Daniel wins. Starting in this game, the first kickoff in his favor, and he uses it to score without Jack ever getting a possession. Slight offset. Jack should be able to take an equally as good opportunity. Maybe not quite equally as good, but a solid one. As the next kickoff's in his favor, Daniel's bumping him out in front of his net. And he's playing this dribble really fast out to the midfield. And Gotts has Jack recovering late, but really good defensive effort from Jack to keep that out. Long clear. Daniel's going to take the bounce. Yeah, he knows that Jack is going to steal his boost. And oh my goodness, look at his power. We saw the same exact play from AJ on First Killer. AJ dove onto First Killer's corner, not recognizing that the counterattack was available. And First Killer did it with a bounce and then a volley, but Daniel's going to do it with a bounce and a musty to give it that extra speed. It almost feels like you kind of see Jack tilting a little bit as he's moving that camera around. Seemingly in frustration, maybe not. Maybe he just likes to keep that finger warm while he waits for the countdown. But definitely something we weren't seeing before. This is a good read. Oh, the bounce doesn't go his way. Jack, unfortunate. Put that just a bit too high. Now Daniel reads the backwards challenge. Flicks it, and the bounces are going Daniel's way right now. He is absolutely on point with every placed shot. Daniel, another kickoff. I'll be honest, I stopped keeping track of every individual one. Jack did win the second one, but it's so clear that Daniel has the overall edge. Daniel deciding to save his 60 boost, recognizing the scoring attempt as he headed to the back wall there was not likely. Better off just saving his boost for his later attempts. Look at these psychos that Daniel's trying to go for. This is the second time he's gone for one. Last time he actually missed by more, which was better for him. It stayed closer to his half. This time he misses the wrong amount and ends up going right to Jack. Daniel going to lean back to get the reset on this ball. Look at this pogo. No way. Jack's just showing off, man. Look at him go. I thought he was going to try and pogo it in the air, which would be absurd. But he's just showing that he's got the pogos. I mean, it's kind of useful to fly through the air. Obviously, he would have been fine if he just landed on the ground. It would have worked just as well. But because he didn't have any boost, I feel like if his wheels get on the ground, he actually probably does slow down a bit, as opposed to just popping himself up in the air and landing closer to his eventual shot. Air dribble bump from Jack. We talked about how good his are. Daniel is one of the better defenders in the game against the air dribble bump, though. And Jack's going to bump both Daniel and the ball into the net on this one. Look at the patience from Jack. Jack, a high air dribble. Really high first touch. He makes it work out. And the way he's going to do that is by leaving the ball immediately and just setting his eyes on Daniel, who actually tried to pre-jump. Daniel didn't stand a chance there, right? Am I correct in seeing that after that first jump of Daniel, he was not going to be able to get there? Daniel, so smooth with his reset. Oh my goodness. Daniel just, like I've said before, gets the reset like it's just another breath and then takes the ball down to the dribble and he finishes perfectly with a musty top shelf. My goodness, so much speed on that shot too. It's just, it feels like it was always meant to go in when Daniel has it on the dribble. Other people are tricking the ball into doing what they want, whereas the ball listens to what Daniel says. Jack down 3. Not the end of this game by any means for him. Daniel threatening to create some separation yet again. Jack has to recover late here to force this off the post. Actually, really quick recovery. Daniel avoids the bump. Doesn't pick up any boost in the process, so it will be Jack with the possession. He is going to try and power shot on the near post for him, that far post for Daniel as he recovered. But Daniel got there, and Daniel just read that Jack was going to chip it right back up into him. Couldn't get the double read off the ground. What is Daniel doing? He's flying through the air on his way back to the corner. It worked! What's going on? Why did the ball was just given to him? Daniel had a premonition that he was not going to be punished for flying back to the corner. In fact, he was rewarded. Jack, I don't know if he was confused on the setup, ends up just handing the ball right to him. And Daniel will scoop it in for an open net. You see Jack turning his camera away from kickoff. I don't know if that's a sign of tilt or not, but he can't even stare at the ball until the countdown is down. He's going to get a reset. Oh, he's going for the pogo! You love to see it. I imagine scoring a pogo would definitely spark a bit of life in this series for Jack, but instead it gives Daniel a freebie. Jack is one of the more mentally tough 1v1ers in the game, and a reverse sweep in a best of 7 is a long way to go if he's not able to bring this one back. But not a lot of players that I believe being capable of it more than Jack. I feel like the only other person I can think of who seems to have a steady resolve is actually Rawas. So for a youngster, you almost wouldn't expect that, but he seems to be completely unaffected by what's been going on in the series up until the time he's currently playing in. But the scoring is slowed down here, and that's, of course, heavily in favor of Jack in favor of Daniel, as Jack is doesn't even seem to be worried about this game. Not rushing to the net like he would have to if he wanted to get 5 in a row, and he's not even going to shoot this one. So that is an indication that he knows this game is over. It'll have to be 4 straight wins for Jack. Are we going to get 2 sweeps in the semifinals? And not really reverse sweeps, but I want to say reverse because the opposite of how they went in the Swiss, if it does happen, if Daniel can finish it off with one more game. Jack going to need to find the spark as we head to game number 4. Game number 4. Jack coming into the playoffs as the higher seed, as Daniel was forced down into that 3-1 round by Jack himself. Daniel coming into the tournament as the number 1 seed and showing why he has played so well. It's actually an insane save. Jack, you could almost, I almost feel like there's a little bit of tilt in that too. You know, it's like, man, I put on an amazing shot and you still saved it. I need to catch some sort of break. Daniel can't win the race to his corner boost. Jack up in the air. He needs to score first. This is a great shot. If that bounce didn't go in, I think we could have just called it. If Jack couldn't get at least that bounce, I mean, I don't know how the mental recovers because this shot was amazing. But he is rewarded with his 1-0 lead. Is Daniel in Ultra Instinct again? I don't know if it's Ultra Instinct, but he is definitely the favorite here so far against Jack. Jack gets to see a lead on the board, though, something he hasn't seen in a while. Daniel, risky pinch. Risky in the sense that if he doesn't score it, it's likely to just be a wasted possession. Possessions, you know, normally don't come very often. Jack trying the pogo. I love it. I mean, I've said it before. I love the pogo meta. I love that people are working it into their game. And, I mean, if Jack had just scored a pogo on Daniel, that would have been... that could erase tilt. That's the thing that I'm talking about. When Jack was going for the pogo earlier and he didn't hit it, if you're tilting a little bit and you need to erase it, I guarantee you hit a pogo and all of a sudden you're, you know, on top of the world. Every sort of loss that you've gotten up to that point, I guarantee completely erases in your head and you're ready to just win the series. So that's why I like that from Jack. He's able to go up 2-0 even without the pogo. Daniel going to strike back. How many times have we seen Daniel win a kickoff to the wall to air dribble and the perfect reset execution leads to a goal? I mean, that is just Daniel's MO. Jack launching the kickoff shot. Daniel using his 12 boost and some wave dashes as he lands to end the possession at that. And now he's going to take a power shot with 12 boost. There's really no better choice with that bounce. Daniel takes Jack off the map and slams in the tying goal. Jack, this time, the same kind of kickoff is going to be an immediate goal. As he goes and pushes right very intentionally. Daniel getting more goal side. We see it's a bit of a risk to take the diagonal and push towards the wall. If the other player is fast enough, then it very frequently bounces off the wall and straight at your net. But Jack had the read on that one. Look at this wave dash shot. Great save from Jack. If you're a Jack fan, things are starting to turn up Jack just a little bit more often. All these slim margins were all in favor of Daniel in the first 3 games. But Jack showing up here in game number 4. Took a bit to get started. Still only a 1-goal lead, though, with a ton of time left. Just feels like he's driving the game for the first time. Daniel trying to chase him down. Not a ton of scoring options. Boost spawns and he's able to flip into it to take the 100. Actually takes his own 100 as well. Jack can't chase him down, so Jack is likely going to be forced away back to his net. Interesting first touch from Daniel. I like that play, though. Instead of taking the ball on top of his car, going for a slower dribble, maybe a flick, he knows he has a recovering defender, and the priority is getting it to net. So even though he pushes it off his car, he chips it back up and takes his flick and makes sure that Jack has to make his save long before he's able to reset in net. Daniel has possession with 0 boost. Probably not expecting to score on his flick, but needs to get Jack in the air so he can take his corner, and he did exactly what he wanted. Now Jack trying to be patient. He gets the 50 and then just reverse and double jumps back onto the wall to try and set up the 50 again. Daniel looking bottom right. Jack saves it off the post. It'll be a reset here. What will Daniel do? Given time and space, he'll boom the ball. And that is a very confident play. We've seen Daniel do that to people a lot because they don't want separation between them, so they start cheating up, and he can surprise them by just ripping a power shot over the top of them as they move forward. But Jack didn't move forward that much. The air dribble bumps from Jack are too good, and it's going to give him the edge with under a minute left to go. Daniel, he never even went fully up. He knew if he did, he would just be getting slammed. Jack throwing his wheels onto the ball. That's the first touch to get the reset. Daniel seems like he's buying his time and his boost here a little bit until he gets a good opportunity. He's going to touch and take straight towards the net, hoping to maybe catch Jack off as he resets maybe in the corner, but I don't think Jack did. I think Jack stayed prepared for the quick shot from Daniel. Jack's on low boost. This is dangerous here in Daniel's half. That is one way to make it not dangerous. He had to score on this, if you ask me. He was going to be in a really, really tough spot. Daniel has 73, and he just picked up 100. So if he gets a save here, up in time to clear that maybe into the corner, now it's a race back to net. Daniel needs 1 goal, and, you know, we've shown how Daniel has dominated in races to a counterattack, especially when he has a boost advantage. But Jack was confident. He knew he'd get a good enough shot that he'd either score or prevent Daniel from going the other way. And oh wow, Daniel snuck this behind Jack. Here I am talking about the fact that this game could be over, but Daniel still has some signs of life, sneaking underneath the ball and using that pre-flip kind of to put it near post. You see Jack practicing the pogo. If you want a pogo, I think you should do what Jack just did. As you get exploded from the net, always try and pogo, because it's obvious Jack has been working on that. But it will be Jack taking a game. No sweep for Daniel. Jack's still in this one, but he's got a long way to go. Game 5. Jack and Daniel. It has been a good battle between these two. Looked like we were on track for maybe an easy Daniel run to victory. Jack is right back in this, and Daniel thought he was taking that ball out of a position that it could be scored from, but he was wrong. Only takes a couple quick touches for Jack to find his way, and there's the zap dash from Jack into the corner, and the flip reset over the top of Daniel. Jack is here, and he actually didn't score this. No way. I don't think he needed to get one more reset, but he tried to, and Daniel makes it back. Daniel didn't give up on it, even though he went flying past it. Oh my goodness. I can't believe Jack didn't score that. What a recovery from Daniel. That was actually insane. Daniel had no business saving that, and now it's a tie game. I mean, I don't know if I'm misremembering, but it felt like Jack could have just tapped it in. He thought, might as well just get one more reset as I tap it in to go up 2-0. And Daniel said, I see my opportunity. Came flying back. Now, taking a pretty tame shot off the bounce at Jack. Just barely protects the ball from being power shot in his net as he falls to the ground. Jack looking for the top right. Daniel awarded the Savior medal in the process of keeping that one out. And he actually rides on top of Jack and flips late to steal the boost. This long shot is going to be saved. And Jack, oh my goodness, Jack, what a read. Oh, I have to go back and look. That was actually insane. How did he pre-jump that? Daniel pinching this away. No boost now. Jack just handed the ball over to Daniel. I don't think he needed to hit that as strong as he did. Jack now trying to convert on this low boost. Daniel in net is able to steal his corner. It's a good pop by Daniel. He actually tried to get back to the ball. Wow, that's incredibly aggressive from Daniel. Wait, Jack didn't score on it. Now he will. Certainly, right? Yes. So now it's not going to show us. I want to see. I think Daniel had a couple of quick wave dashes to try and surprise Jack after popping that ball. Daniel faking the kickoff. Gets himself a dribble possession. Goes low on the 50. He's done a good job going high in previous plays, and that's why you see Jack respecting the fact that he could be popping it up. Daniel takes his dribbles at such a high speed. First Killer was doing this too in his games, but it's just the little things of how these guys control the ball. I don't know if it's that other players don't feel comfortable. Great, Musty. Like they don't feel comfortable controlling it and making the right play at top speed, so they're a little bit slower. But Daniel and First Killer find a way to get every sort of shot you see from everyone else, but at just a little bit extra speed. Jack not going to be able to find his angle from the corner. Daniel just boom it away. And Jack is actually trying to do. We've seen this play so many times. Like it's almost picture perfect. You could just replace every car, and they all look almost exactly the same. Jack recognizing that Daniel wants a boost steal, so he passes it to himself off the back wall and gets the long shot. So at some point, the players stealing the boost are going to learn, but now both Daniel and Jack have made the mistake. Daniel reads the bounce off the back wall, sending it to midfield. It'll be Jack in the air with 100 against Daniel in net with 100. He goes for the ground double, and Daniel able to hover on the back wall until he gets the save. Jack has the top right, or he just has top center if he gives it enough power. 102 km/h as it crosses the goal line. Daniel with only 12 boost was only going to be able to save something that was sent a bit lower. But Jack made sure to keep it away. Wave dash kickoff for Daniel. That is not it. Not what you want to see when you're trying to expose somebody. You want to get that nose almost underneath the ball so that you get pushed back down to the ground quickly, as opposed to what happened there, which was the opposite. The nose getting pushed up and the wheels getting forced onto the ball. Daniel, ball to air dribble. Look at those clean resets. This is almost exactly the same shot as we saw him get before. He grabs the reset with such ease. It makes the rest of his dribble so much easier to set up. And, I mean, just every part of it. What do you want me to say? It's so good. It's like he has such control of the ball when he's in the air like that. This time he goes low. Brings himself right back. Daniel plays a quick first touch to the net and trusts in his ability to create the wall that Jack can't get through. Jack chasing the ball down as it comes to the ground to prevent Daniel from having an open first touch. And Daniel just, I felt, passed the ball to Jack, but Jack was prepping by going up to stop an aerial that never came, so it wasn't as bad as it could have been for Daniel. Although I tell you what, this was pretty bad. See, watch Jack. I know this doesn't really matter, this kick out or this goal is not exciting, but watch Jack as he lands. because I feel like this is important. See how he tries to do his dash afterwards? I just think that if you want to learn that dash and you want to learn the pogo, there's no better time when you're just playing ranked and you get exploded away from the net to just try and land in dash or try and land in pogo. And I think you just end up getting so many more reps of that type of mechanic. So it doesn't surprise me that Jack can do them both pretty well and that we see him kind of practicing them every time he explodes away. But he's got a 1-goal lead, and the long shot from Daniel is gonna prevent that. Oh my goodness. Just under a minute, Jack didn't have boost, and Daniel knew it. He had just stolen the 100 from him in the corner, so he knows the net is open as long as he can boom a shot there. And that's never really been Daniel's issue. He's not had a problem getting power on his shots. Jack perfectly keeps this away from Daniel's attack. Didn't have much of any boost to work with, but he had enough to get directly underneath the ball, and using his flip to prioritize that vertical height, make sure Daniel was flying underneath it. Wall to air dribble from Daniel. What are we going to see this time around? We've seen resets to Musties the past few times. He fakes it this time and he goes low. I mean, what can you do? He is cashing in on how good he has been on these same exact dribbles earlier in the game. And you have to jump if you're Jack. Daniel has been launching those Musties right where Jack was hoping to pre-jump to, but this time Daniel doesn't take it. Direct kickoff. Jack doesn't score it. Close game. Daniel so aggressive as he just dives at Jack. Doesn't get ball, and he also doesn't get the car. I think he was hoping for either. As long as he got one, he'd be okay, and he got neither. So the Jack lead with 25 seconds. And this kickoff is in favor of Jack. Daniel's going to be forced into the corner. And what is Jack doing? Well, I don't understand. He must have been trying to surprise Daniel. Daniel misses the double, though. He says, my fault. He seems to be upset at himself as well. Low 50 from Daniel. I don't know if he's going to find a way to get around that and shoot. So he's going to have to go wall to air dribble. Can Daniel score? He can't let it hit the ground. He's going to take it back down top of his car. That's not a good first touch. And he just lost it. He just lost it. Jack was too scary in net. A second game for Jack. He's working his way back bit by bit. Game 6. Daniel and Jack. Jack has slowly been finding his form. I'm sure there was more than a couple people who were counting Jack out as Daniel went up 3-0, and he certainly earned that sort of doubt for the way Daniel was playing. I shouldn't even say Jack didn't earn the doubt. Daniel earned the faith because he was playing absolutely unstoppable. Daniel now trying to keep a dribble at ceiling height. Didn't have the plan for the finishing touch. So Jack will get two. I talked about how a player that has the mental strength, that has the competitor's spirit such not to give up even when down 3-0. And I think I would pick Jack. I mean, he has always had what it takes to stay in every series. He's got himself a lead here in his attempt to force Game 7. But gonna go flying past this one. Daniel, his flick doesn't seem to be too wild, but it's something that Jack couldn't handle. He tried to read it. He flipped left past the ball. Maybe didn't realize Daniel's touch was headed to the right. Daniel using his flip instantly after getting it. Somehow getting back to this ball and 50ing it. Jack going to try and rush this dribble because he knows Daniel's recovering. He fell in front of it, though. And not really much he could do once he did that. Daniel sees his opportunity for a long shot. So instead of taking it to the wall, he just cuts directly towards the net and then plays a bit of keep away. Jack gives him the nice shot. This window was open, but the only way to do it was with a quick dribble and a double. If you try to take it there right away, Jack actually had the angle to stop him. So he had to go up over the top of him and then finish it off with the tight angle just inside the post, and that's exactly what he gets. Now another kickoff win. Wall dashing quick onto the wall. And he pogoed, I don't think intentionally. I think he was just trying to 50 Jack. Oh my goodness, he found the slight angle that he needed. Jack actually has a ton of boost here, and he's trying to control it. He's touching it onto the back wall so that he can then take control of it and maybe start an attack of his own. He's definitely not prioritizing escaping, you know, just stopping Daniel from scoring. He's already thinking about what he's going to do with his possession, and that's what makes it possible for Daniel to stay around and get his goal. Jack, his kickoffs have truly equaled out. He's had a lot more opportunities as time has gone on, and we talked about how that was essential for him if he wanted to stand a chance. Daniel now, quick camera check to see where Jack's at, trying to decide what he wanted to do as he approached the corner. But ultimately decided to go for the boost and then just drive away, and I mean, this is not it. The 50 he attempts leads to Jack just rolling it in uncontested. Daniel was hoping to bump Jack. I mean, the momentum has shifted. Daniel so close to closing out the series. Starting to realize that it might be going the distance now with Jack. He doesn't change the flow of the game. He is up way faster than this one. I mean, I think Jack maybe thought he was going to go grab boost or something, but Daniel recognizes that Jack is offering up a race to the ball, and Daniel knows he's going to win that from his position. Not the end of the world as far as kickoff losses go for Daniel. Jack's going to have a tough time scoring. He got really close to doing so. Almost made me wrong, but I mean, that's exactly my point. It looks like a really, really terribly lost kickoff, but it's actually not a very easy angle for Jack to score from. And Daniel, soft touch. Now he has to play defense out of the inside of his net. And Daniel was one of the first guys that I saw consistently playing on the side wall of the net, prepping for these kind of shots, but he just didn't have the patience. I think he actually was in a good spot, but he ultimately, got antsy and tried to come off the wall probably a bit too soon. Jack has top right available. Ooh, maybe he doesn't. Maybe that's just what Daniel wants him to think. Daniel doesn't quite have as good of an angle. And so what does he do? He gets closer to the net, and he uses the height to be the thing that surprises Jack and makes it hard for him to save. If he shoots early, the angle is actually not enough. I mean, Jack will have time to get up. That won't be the issue. So what does he do? He waits longer while Jack is grounded, and then uses the speed up into the top shelf to be the reason why Jack can't make the save. 2 minutes and a Jack lead. We saw Daniel controlling every game early in the series, and Jack being the one having to try and fight his way back. It has completely shifted as Jack has led the majority of this game. Not to say that Daniel isn't right there in striking distance. In fact, he couldn't get up to this one in time. And the long shot could actually be a goal. I mean, it didn't take a lot. It didn't take a lot to shift into Jack's favor. A couple touches not as strong as Daniel's used to. A couple bounces going Jack's way, and he has been able to find his stride. Chasing Daniel down now. Daniel gets the save. Tried to get the goal line bump on the ground, and Daniel's going to threaten the hook shot here. You see he slightly fakes it, and Jack jumps, but he manages to get a touch on the ball. Daniel was hoping to just run it to net with Jack nowhere around. Jack lolls as he somehow gets a wheel on it, and then says fair enough, because he wave dashes the ball into Daniel, who doubles it. off this short wall here. Still, though, it's Daniel playing chase on Jack in this game. Daniel, his full field dribbles, he's so good at them. This time, he goes for the late reset and forces the 50 through. It's definitely the safer option. He's shown that he can scream shots past, but the past few, it seems like his priority has been when Jack connects with the ball, I want to be on the other side of it. You know, the chances of me being able to force it through, or at least being able to handle what happens afterwards, I think is much higher when Daniel puts himself there, and that's why we've seen him make sure he's in that position. The past many air dribbles, he's going to pre-flip out to this ball. I mean, it's just such a tough position to play from with how little boost Daniel has. At some point, he's got to make a move and decide when he's going to try and steal it from Jack. He's decided this time to do it early. You never know if he's thinking about the time left in the game, too, because if he lets Jack break him down, and when you're that low on boost and net, the chance that Jack is going to be able to break you down is actually pretty high. So if he waits a long time and then Jack eventually gets the goal, he saved even less time for his comeback to happen later. But I'll tell you what, that comeback isn't happening in the ensuing seconds either. It's 9-7 for Jack. Daniel has to score this full field dribble. He has to take it and he has to score it. And you know who knows that? Jack does. So he pre-jumps it immediately and prevents him from even getting it started. I mean, it's just a good read of the situation. Daniel, with the time left, had to take that dribble. He couldn't really afford to cut around it and try and keep it low or something. That was just going to be too long of a setup. And so Jack intercepts, and Jack forces game 7. Oh my, Jack trying to go for the monster reverse sweep. Daniel gets a goal to make it just a 1-goal margin. But we go to game 7, and apparently Jack versus Daniel. Game 7 in the Fall 5K semifinal between Daniel and Jack. 3 straight game wins for Daniel, followed by 3 straight game wins for Jack. Which one of these two is prepared for the match against First Killer and ready to secure their ticket to the Fall 5K Rotterdam Major? That's right, you heard me. These players are going from where they live to Rotterdam exclusively for the purpose of 1v1ing. I can't think of anything else that is happening in the Netherlands in December other than the Fall 5K. And you know these guys desperately want to go there. Jack able to connect on his ground bump that he wasn't able to hit, I believe, in the previous game. Able to tie this right back up. Daniel controlling this kickoff into the corner. Jack doing his best to break up the setup for Daniel, but he still gets a very solid one. Good control from Jack on the save, though. Escaping after only a single shot. And Daniel got really aggressive here. He's going to help pinch the ball into his net. I don't see a world in which he gets back to this one. Good keep away from Jack, maybe frustrating Daniel a bit, who wanted his scoring opportunity. Needed to give up on that play, but thought he could somehow find a way to get an angle. I mean, I don't know if I've seen people score off of... Oh my goodness, Daniel! What is he doing here with this shot? He had a plan all along, doubles it off the back wall, and then gives it a nice pinch to slot it bottom left. What is that? There shouldn't have been a way to score that, but of course Daniel finds a way. Jack, this first touch is not great. Daniel's just waiting like a shark to punish Jack if he doesn't control this well. But Daniel wasn't able to get something. Oh, the psychos from both these guys. They have been trying to psycho each other left and right. Daniel, really strong first touch. And has his reset. Tries to go low 50. Can't get the own boost. So this is going to be a Jack goal, barring a collapse from him, which is not going to come. Daniel needed to win that race to the boost. Jack gets ahead of this dribble once again. Daniel just waiting for his opportunity to punish. Now Daniel falling for the ceiling and so clean. Canceling the flip as well, just to make it look extra sweet. Jack just wasn't in position for this at all. He was expecting it to go low. He was banking that it was going to go low. And Daniel saw that he was hoping for that and knew if he just kept it out of his reach, it was going to be uncontested. Ooh, what a placement on that shot. Jack, 71 km/h. That's after it goes crossbar down. My goodness. Jack into Daniel's corner. Daniel able to recover to clear this away. Now he's got only pads to work off of. We see him pathing over a couple, and Jack immediately punishes. Yeah, this is what we saw when Daniel had that opportunity earlier to just dive Jack before letting him get to an extended possession like this. And Jack's just too good. He's going to be able to pick you apart. You might as well take the chances when you have them. This time he slots it behind Daniel. Daniel pre-flip to try and control it to the corner, and then was hoping to win the race to the boost. He did not. He did get Jack out of the orange half early, and now he's got 100 to work with. That fake challenge was enough. I think Jack just dropped the ball because of it. Jack just decides, I can't pick it back up. I'm just going to go bump Daniel. My dribble is over, so maybe I can get a demo and keep this play alive, but he was not able to. Daniel can't score on this as he loses the ball. Jack went all the way out to midfield to get the 100, I'm pretty sure. Makes it back. Daniel's not going to win this race to the corner, and he actually tried to get the bump. Should Jack not have scored there? I feel like once Daniel missed it, that should have just been a long shot, right? For Jack and a goal, he just pushed this ball far enough away that Daniel can respawn and get a save. 2 minutes. Nice delay from Jack. You just saw Jack place the ball near post just a moment ago in order to beat Daniel. And this time, he fakes it again like he's going to go there. So Daniel hits the brakes in preparation. And then Jack ends up just taking it to 50 into the bottom right. 3-goal lead for Jack. Daniel! Oh, no. Oh, no. Daniel. This is not a good sign for Daniel fans. This game was not over. Oh, this game was not over, but you can just see anybody who has played the game of Rocket League knows what was going on in Daniel's head as he refused to move after the kickoff didn't go the way he wanted. And now, playing down 4, he just left. This is Daniel all but giving up, which is insane. 1:30. Never mind. Daniel just has a plan. I don't understand why Jack didn't score there when Daniel left all the way over to Jack's half, and Jack did something in the air that didn't end up in a goal. And yet somehow Daniel, turns out he's just actually a genius. 1:30. Still, Daniel playing from behind an extra goal because he gave up on that previous play. He is not out of it, though. Needs to score on a possession shortly here. Jack is going to try and control this for sure. So he just needs Daniel not to have the ball, but Daniel took it back with ease. As his reset goes low and finds a way to sneak it in bottom right. I'm sorry, but I just can't get over that goal. I mean, imagine Daniel is at 6'5" here if he just didn't give up completely after that one kickoff. Daniel, kickoff loss, or a win you could say, but I felt like he wasn't going to be able to get a good shot. He actually ended up giving the ball right back to Jack, and that's kind of what I meant. He was going to have a tough time controlling that, but he bumps Jack. 6-7. Oh my goodness. I mean, Daniel has a ton of time. He's got 43 seconds. So he could still do it, despite the fact that it seemed like he all but gave up. I mean, this is a bad kickoff loss for Daniel, though. Yeah, it's a goal. Daniel needed that to go in his favor. Jack getting goal side. Daniel looked like he was trying to push it through the diagonal onto that left wall and did not get there fast enough to have that be the results. Neutral kickoff. No, not neutral. Daniel own goals. There was a world in which Daniel comes away with this just fine, but gets a slight touch with the back end of his car towards the net and then panics and can't help but just guide that ball into the net. Now I think we see the same tilt we saw before. A little bit more justified, though, here. 30 seconds down 3. Make it 22 seconds down 4. But the window was available. That moment when Jack had brought it, or Daniel had brought it to down 1, could have been a tie game. I mean, I guess you never know what would have happened on that goal that Daniel didn't play in. Jack taking it the distance. Daniel looked insane in the first 3 games in this series. Jack seemed to not have the answer at all, but he found the answer. It's GG's, and it is Jack in 7. 4 straight wins. Never gave up, and for good reason, as he'll head to the grand finals.